Smoking zone and I be in my head, in my head. Flintstone rolling, I be in my head, in my head. Mommy strolling, I be in my head, in my head. She look at me, she floating, I be in my head, in my head. Smoking zone and I be in my head, in my head. Flintstone rolling, I be in my head, in my head. Mommy strolling, I be in my head, in my head. She look at me, she floating, I be in my head.
So fun fact about me. How do I word this right? It's hard for me to stay on track sometimes because I decide I want to do something and then I'll decide, well, maybe it'll be easier or more beneficial to do something else, or I get sidetracked, or I forget, And I started off this year, and I started off this year, or at least at the beginning of the summer. I think beginning of the year. Beginning of the year, I decided, as I'm doing these, and I think I mentioned this in one of the other ones, that I wanted to do less rap music. I wanted to ingest less rap music. I wanted to ingest new genres, other genres. Well, not really new genres. I listen to everything. I already listen to everything, but rap is the genre I listen to the most. But I don't really like the state that rap is in. And I just want to get more well-versed on my other genres. Outside of rap, it's probably rock, R&B, jazz, and pop. Those four are probably the four most that I'm most knowledgeable about outside of rap. Yeah, those four: rock, pop, R&B, jazz, R&B/soul. And then, I go about doing these and I realize in the last like 3 or 4, they've all been rap. And this one is also rap. So there is one I started to do, and I said this in one of the other ones I know I did. There is one I started to do that was like a hardcore rock album by a Finnish band, and the whole album sounds like an anime intro. That one is coming. And I always talk about which ones I'm working on at the start of these videos, and half of them don't come out. So we'll see. But of course, this is another rap one. And this is a rap one that came out this year. I think this is only the 3rd album I'm doing that came out this year. I did the Men I Trust album, and I did one of Westside Gunn's albums. The one I wanted to do the most came out this year. I think it came out this year. So I did one of Westside Gunn's albums. I did a Men I Trust album. This will be the 3rd one I do from this year. And it is Pierre Bourne, Made in Paris. Came out 2025. Came out a couple months ago. Now, the thing about this one, though, is if you don't know much about Pierre Bourne, that man's music is going to get leaked. So I heard the album before it came out, essentially. And the sequence that he put it, actually damn near close. The one that I had saved in my notes, that was technically the full album. It was a pretty close version to the one that he put out. But the thing about Pierre is his shit gets leaked a lot. So what'll happen sometimes, like with this album, Made in Paris, it took a while for him to give it to his fans because the tracks kept getting leaked, because the track list kept getting leaked. So one thing me and my brother were worried about going into this, because me and my brother were both keeping up with the leaks. One thing we were both worried about is he was going to hold on to these songs and over edit them and over tune them to compensate for the fact that they had already been released, so that they were different than the ones people had already heard. And we were afraid he would do too much. And that was months before the album came out. That was at the beginning of the year. We had been waiting on this album, I think, for some years. I think the fans have been waiting on this for some years. I want to say we, because I didn't know this was coming out until my brother made it clear to me at the beginning of the year, or at the end of last year, when we started talking about the leaks. I didn't know this album was coming until he put it on my radar. And then we found the leaks, we found the album. A couple months later, we get the actual album. So, you know, if you don't listen to Pierre Bourne, and you are here and you're gonna listen to him off of my recommendation, or you've been thinking about listening to him, or you can't get into him, Made in Paris is a good album. Made in Paris is a good album. Did he do too much? Did he do too much? Yeah, a little bit in some places. A little bit in some places. There are some versions of the song that I heard before the album dropped that when I got the version on the album, it's, you know, it's not the same. It's also called Demoitis, you know. It might be a better version of the song, but because I found the one I found and grew attached to that one, now that I have a different version, I don't like it as much. It could be that. We'll see. But Made in Paris is a good album, man. It's a good Pierre album, if you like Pierre. It's a good Pierre album, if you like Pierre. I really like Pierre. I think today, Pierre is in my top 5 artists in the hip-hop space. Yeah, I mean, I got Kendrick and Future, and after that I got Pierre, because everyone else is kind of wishy-washy and iffy, and I don't like to jump on trends. So there are a lot of people who, and I'm not saying Pierre is a better artist than the people who should be above him. Pierre's not a better rapper than Ab-Soul. He's not a better music maker than like maybe a Playboi Carti, which Pierre used to make beats for Playboi Carti, so that's even debatable for real. When Playboi Carti, I guess you can say he's at his peak now with this whole vamp phase. But for me, my favorite version of Playboi Carti came when Pierre was making his beats. My favorite version of Lil Uzi came when Pierre was making his beats. So I think this man is a top tier beat maker in the game. I know. You can't argue that Pierre is a top tier beat maker in the game. Now, do you love when the music he makes on his own beats? That's up for you to decide. I do like it. I do like it. And it's a normal Pierre album. It's all about, I guess you could say romance and heartbreak. It's about him dealing with women. It's about him dealing with women. A lot of his tracks be about him dealing with women. Positive, negative, in the middle. You know, heartbreak, romance. Let's go on dates. This man has a bar about getting head in damn near every song he's made since I found him. So you gotta take that how you want. Sometimes I'm like, damn, this nigga is always talking about getting head. But at the same time, as a rapper myself, I have a bar about me being a dragon in every song I make. So I can't be mad at the man. You have a motif. It's his motif. Getting head just happens to be his motif. It's not one I'm mad at as a man. It's just that you do notice it. But where would I rank Made in Paris in terms of Pierre albums? My favorite Pierre album is The Life of Pierre 4, T-Lock 4. So Made in Paris, recency bias right now has it at number 2. But I think it might be tied for or just under The Life of Pablo 5. Those two are real close in terms of quality for me. And Pierre could be real hit or miss. I'm not saying that everything Pierre drops is just a straight hit. He has whole tapes that I just kind of avoid. He does. He has whole tapes that I just kind of avoid at regular speed. But where Pierre really shines is 2 things. The leaks, which I already talked about, but also the chopped and screwed. There are the 2 names that I mentioned with Pierre earlier, with Uzi and with Carti. Uzi, Carti, and Pierre are the kings of leaked music, and of chopped and screwed music. Don't believe me? Go do the research. Go listen. Because for me personally, yeah, I look forward to a good little Uzi tape. We haven't gotten that in a while. Yeah, I look forward to a good Playboi Carti tape. The last one was alright. Yeah, I look forward to a good Pierre Bourne tape. I like this one. This one is a good one. But whether it's good or bad, you can go find a few of those songs, chop and screw them, better song for many occasions. You can play, especially with Pierre and Cardi. Um, yeah, especially with Pierre and Cardi. You can play the chopped and screwed versions when you're driving. You can play the chopped and screwed versions when you got people over. You can play the chopped and screwed versions at night when you're just chilling. You can play the chopped and screwed versions to research, to do work, to play the game. You can smoke to them. They're very versatile sounds and songs. And to the point where at one point, me and one of my friends used to think that they made the songs purposely to get chopped and screwed, because their catalog is just that good. When the songs get chopped and screwed, they have songs that I do not like at regular speed. All three of these niggas got songs that I do not like at regular speed, but when you slow them down, throw a little more reverb in there, different song, completely different song. And so one of the things, I was waiting to give this album time. I always want to give the albums time to grow, to make sure I actually like them. Recency bias is a thing. I don't like diving into things when they're too hyped up, even though this didn't really have that much hype outside of Pierre's fan base. This didn't have that much hype. Most people that I listen to on YouTube that talk about music do not talk about Pierre at all. They don't even talk about his beats. They very rarely talk about the niggas he made beats for. Playboi Carti and Lil Uzi have kind of surpassed rap. So occasionally they will talk about Uzi and Carti. Uzi, and when they were putting out good music, they were talking about them all the time. Well, again, this is more so Uzi than Carti. But they're both up to their antics, and they both surpass rap. So even if they're not putting out good rap music, they're superstars in this thing. We're gonna talk about them. So the people that I talk about, who mainly talk about like lyricism, and more hip hop based music, they avoid Pierre. They don't talk about his beat making or anything. So I really wanted to do a video on Made in Paris, and I also kind of want to do a video for I Am Music. But I haven't heard I Am Music chopped and screwed yet. I just got done for the past few days listening to all my favorite songs, and even some of the ones I didn't like on Made in Paris, chopped and screwed. And just like I could have predicted, better album. Better, given your taste. For me, I like chopped and screwed music. I have a folder in YouTube that's full of chopped and screwed music. That shit is hundreds of songs long. So I really like chopped and screwed. And for these three specifically, Uzi, Carti, and Pierre, I kind of prefer the chopped and screwed sound than the regular speed. Outside of certain songs and projects, like The Life of Pablo 4, The Life of Pierre 4, I can really listen to that whole thing regular speed. Does that mean that some of the songs aren't better chopped and screwed? Some of them are, yes. But I think I like the whole album better at regular speed, especially with the transitions and stuff. So this one, Made in Paris, is a good album. But I think I preferred a lot of the songs chopped and screwed, or I prefer the versions that leaked, that weren't so heavily edited. So some of the songs that I think are standouts on this are J'adore, Bon Appetit. Even with the song names, right before I get too deep in the list, the song names for most of them dropped under different song names when they leaked. But of course, it's Pierre. He's got to edit the songs. It's called Made in Paris, so I think he changed the name of some of the songs from the English translations to the French translations, or just changed them to a French name and period. Because most of the album are in French. Most of the album titles are in French. So you got J'adore, you got Bon Appetit, you got JBH with Young Nudy. I think Young Nudy and Pierre are a great duo. Nudy's also one of those people where I'll listen to him chopped and screwed. I don't know about Nudy leaks. I don't really look for Nudy leaks. Pissy Pamper was hard. I really wish we could have got that song. Temps to Chase. Pop is a regular ass name, but it's a good song. I haven't taken French since high school. I was in French 2 and 3. I haven't taken it since high school. Retreat. Retreat. I don't know how to say it. That song, the one that starts with an R. And Blocks. Those are all my standouts. Those are a fair amount of songs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 songs, and there are 2 that I know I like that I probably didn't mention. But the songs came out, a few of them, under different names. And like J'adore was the first leak I heard for sure off this tape. It was the first one I heard. But I didn't find J'adore until, like, they have different versions of some of the songs. If you find the leaks, they have like version 1, version 2, as he edited, and they keep getting leaked. I think it was version 4 of J'adore that I found on YouTube. Best version. It's not the version I got on the album. And I think he scrubbed it from YouTube. So I don't even have that version anymore. That kind of sucks. But it be what it be. You want the niggas to listen to the version you put out to the world. I get that. I do get that. But shit, if something leaked, man, it leaks. Let me have the version I like. I really wish he kept that version of J'adore. Yeah, man, what do I like about the album? As a man, I'm not mad at the subject being his dealings with women. I'm not mad at that. It's very relatable to me. Not all the time. Like, I'm not out here having sex with women in Paris. And I'm not a famous rapper to where they're like jumping out the window to do it. But you know, I like women. I love women. You know what I'm saying? So in just that simple basis, I like to listen to songs about women, about dealings with women, about heartbreak, about romance. I like love. My favorite subject in songs and books are love and romantic. You know, not in movies and TV shows. I don't like to watch the mushy stuff. I want to watch action. But I love songs and books that have a lot of romance in them. Well, books. I think my favorite book genres are really adventure and nonfiction books. So like, you know, biographies and autobiographies and adventure books. I do like action in my reading too, but I'm not mad at a romance subplot in my reading. I actually prefer it. But I like the topics of the songs. I like the beats. Pierre is, again, top tier beat maker in the game. Top 3 if you ask me. And I'd have to think about who else is up there with him and then rate them 1 and 2. But he's top 3, no question. I don't even have to think about that. The beats are hard. The transitions are always hard. Beat switches when he goes from the song where he switches into Uber. I think it's not Bon Appetit. One of the songs he switches, I think it's not 10 for Chase either. It might be one of the ones I didn't mention. She wanna come to the mansion, blah for her. She can't see the mansion. That switch in that song. You know, I love that shit. That's a top tier moment in the album. It's not a long listen. And I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the first song, the intro gets me. The intro is really good. You know, I like my intros. And they set you up for the rest of the album. It does set you up for what the sound of the album is gonna be. It's a pretty good start off. And it's not the best song on the album. So I don't have to worry about the first song being my favorite song when I listen to the tape and it only being downhill from there. There are moments in the middle and towards the end that I look forward to getting to when I hear the album. The biggest complaint I have is that the last 2 or 3 songs after Blocks, I don't really need every song after that. I don't need it. I think it's like 2 songs after Blocks. I don't need them. So after Blocks, sometimes I won't finish the album. I'm not gonna lie, but it's still a really good album. It still gets a really high 2 Ps. High 2 Ps. That's my rating. If you don't know, I rate every album I do on a scale of 1 to 3 Ps, like the 5 mics. I will almost never do 1 P because 1 P means it's just and I only want to review the things I like. If I do something that's 1 P, it's because there's another reason why I'm doing it. I just really need to talk about something in it or about it, or I got to get my hate off or something. But most of these things will be 2 or 3 Ps. The 3s are for the ones I love, and everything is scaled low to high. So Made in Paris is a very high 2 Ps. If it was shortened a little bit, or shit, even if it was like a lot closer to the version that leaked to me, or some of these tracks were like the leaked version, it still would have got 3. It still would have got 3, because at that point it could have fought for being my favorite of his albums. I like 4. I like The Life of Pierre 4, but it runs a little long. It's a lot of tracks. It's just that those tracks are, because it's a longer track run, I think I get the same amount of songs in The Life of Pierre 4 as this whole album that I like. There's a whole album in The Life of Pierre 4 that I like, won't skip through. But it's a longer album, so there are songs I do skip, you know, if you get what I'm trying to get at. But yeah, man, I didn't intro this thing. Welcome to P's Reviews, episode 11, where I just yapped about Pierre Bourne and chopped and screwed music. Yeah, man, Pierre is the king of chopped and screwed music. Him, Uzi Cardi. So if you're not really into Uzi Cardi, Pierre, go check out their chopped and screwed songs. You might like them better. Sip a little drink. You know what I'm saying? Smoke you a little cig or whatever you gotta smoke. Get in your relaxed state. Get in a relaxed state and put on the chopped and screwed versions of their songs. I bet you probably feel different if you don't really like these 3. But yeah, man, I recommend you go listen to these things. Form an opinion for yourself about them. Come back, tell me, do you like Pierre? Do you not like Pierre? Did you like the album? Did you not like the album? Are you one of the Pierre fans who knew about the leaks and are waiting and like really preferred the leaked versions like I did for a lot of these songs? One more thing with Blocks, with the last song Blocks, I am glad he put the second verse on there. There were some leaks where they took the second verse off and it was just the first verse and a shorter song. I really like the second verse. So he gets points for Blocks and keeping that on there. I actually think Blocks is like the original version of that song. Blocks is the only one where it's the original version of that song, but he put Blocks out. Like, he has a whole video for Blocks and everything. Same thing with Pop. Pop is the version that was out. It's the same as the leaks, but he put that out. He made a video for it and everything before the album came out. So, you know, those were going to be the singles anyway for him, I guess. Yeah, man. Pierre Bourne. Be free thinkers, y'all. Have an open heart, have an open mind. Shit's getting dark out here. Shit's gonna get hard over here in good old America for a little while. It's gonna be hard in good old America for a little while. So keep your head up, you know, find your purpose, find your people, keep your head up. It will get worse before it gets better, but it will eventually get better. Always. And with that, yeah, man, I'm gone.
Mind me strolling, I be in my head.